Welcome back. We are going into game 2 of Happydude versus Yuzuki, the group stages, Group B. We have Happydude spawning at the top spawn location as the same color as the last game, that white. It's like a pinkish white. I guess it's actually pink, I don't know. And we have Yuzuki spawning as green Protoss again at the bottom position. We're on Desert Oasis, which is actually one of my favorite maps. I love it because I hate cheese, and this is one of the hardest maps to cheese on, just because the rush distance is so far. It actually is one of the most effective maps to cheese on, too, because if you actually manage to pull it off, your opponent isn't really going to be expecting it. Of course, Happydude choosing not to cheese as a wonderful thing to do, and placing his pylon at the entrance here. Same thing from Yuzuki. I like this placement a little more, especially in Protoss versus Protoss, because with the side core and the gateway, which you're going to want to get out early, you can pretty much do the wall in where there's only a little space for one zealot. I don't know who's pinging the map right now. It's probably me. I'm in this game. Yeah, we have a lot of spectators in this game. So Happydude's going ahead and chrono boosting out before he actually gets his gateway up. This is a pretty strong strategy. A couple pros use this where they just kind of chrono boost probes and then get their gateway a little later. I'm pretty sure it's because it's Desert Oasis. He's not so worried about the rush. Yuzuki's deciding to save his chrono boost, which is interesting. Man, there's more pinging. He's leaving I guess he's going to put a proxy pylon there. Someone was really on top of that. This almost looks like he's fully walled in, but I'm pretty sure you can scoot around right there. So, I don't know what Yuzuki might be losing some focus here. He's throwing down a pylon there as his second one. That's actually pretty good if you're going to time it around 15, but he really needs to be making more probes. He's kind of falling behind. If you ever fall behind on probes, don't feel bad at all to throw a chrono boost down, especially when you're at 99. So a little bit of lost focus there for Yuzuki. As you can see, look at the probe count. Yeah, Happydude's already up by 4 probes, and it's probably, well, definitely due to the fact that he hasn't chrono boosted at all. And we saw Happydude chrono boost at the very beginning before he even built that gateway. If you don't chrono boost except at 10 once your pylon finishes, or your very first pylon, then you can actually get your gateway out at 12 and have only like a split second where you're not building a probe. And that's what generally people consider standard as Protoss. But if you want to go ahead and chrono boost the moment your chrono boost finishes in your very first one, then you actually won't be able to afford a gateway and continual probe production until about 14 food. And so, I mean, it's just a way to optimize, get the max number of probes out for the best economy. I've been fiddling around with it, and actually it's pretty strong. So we have Yuzuki taking his gas, and once again only putting one probe in there. He really doesn't like gas. I don't know if this is going to be his strategy to maybe just get enough gas for a warp gate and then just go like all zealot or something, which is a strong build. But when you do that, you want to save your chrono boost. You want to get this side core out as fast as possible and start warp gate immediately. You want to have that gas already before the warp gate, before the side core finishes, so you can just optimize it as best as possible. He's got all that chrono boost saved up and he's not using it, whereas Happydude is using it, but he's only on one gateway, but his warp gates are halfway done. So you can see the little differences between the two builds. Yuzuki's still really committing strong to this mineral build. I mean, he's at 26 out of 50 again. Building more zealots, gonna try, I guess, and there goes the chrono boost. He's actually gonna start using them now. Third gateway on the way for Yuzuki. It's a good placement of this probe. Interestingly enough, this side of the map actually doesn't really get used as much as this side. It's like a tiny little difference between the rush distance from here down to here as it is from here to here. So usually the main path that you see in this map is this one right here. So if you only have one, unit that you want to designate towards a watchtower, I'd say this is the most important one to get. This one is good for, seeing that air unit stuff, but other than that, it's pretty pointless to take this one. So, as we see, Happydude has gone for a Robo Bay. He's got one gateway, and it looks like Yeah, 3 more on the way, so he's probably just going to use this Robo Bay for this observer. It's pretty standard with Protoss, especially when you're grabbing this expansion so early. If you're going to build 5 production facilities and try and take an expo, you're not going to be able to produce out of all of them. And so if you want to, well, never mind. I'm just going to eat my words here as he builds an Immortal. As soon as we see some Zealots coming in. These are really late Zealots, and look at Happydude, great positioning on those range units up on the cliff. Once again, so oh, wow, that's cool. That's like hidden behind this little feature. It's a little doodad, and there's a miniature version of it just chilling right there. This little plant's kind of sad. He's not growing as much as this one. He's not big enough to hide a pylon yet, but maybe one day he will be. So Yuzuki with the 1,000 minerals is going to just kind of push up here, and actually, it looks like he's just going to take out this expansion. This is actually working out despite the fact that his army composition is pretty horrible compared to this one. He's got no speed on these Zealots, so Happydude to be able to kite him all day, and we're seeing that right now. He's actually losing a little bit of focus. I would like to see better micro out of Happydude here as the reigning champion of the first initial TrisCraft Cup. The problem is, as soon as these get up here, he's just going to warp in. Here he goes. There's the sentry, and here comes the crazy force field. And now these Zealots are just going to be fodder. He needs to back these Zealots out. I don't know what he's doing. Back them out. Back them out. Whenever you're moving these units up here, you want to use the outside path. Just kind of come around here so that they can't actually get attacked. So I like this contain here. It's actually preventing him from... just walled himself in entirely, that Happydude did. It's actually preventing him from taking that expansion and really moving out at all. It's just with Zealots. You can show the power of just the meaty Zealot units. What are you doing? Don't attack. Don't attack. No, no, no. This, I would say, is probably a giant wonder. These Zealots are literally not attacking. Those are trapped. Those are dead. You need to just cut his losses here. Maybe take a quick expansion, you know, put some guys in gas, and start using your chrono boosts on probes. Maybe go for some air units. So this is looking pretty suicidal. Happydude has a very strong economy. It's got 31 probes. It's 1 probe oversaturated, but that's not a problem. It's better to be a little oversaturated than under, especially when you're probably about to take an expansion once he pushes out. I imagine we're going to see him destroy a pylon, which he's doing right now. Here comes that 1 probe to just get stuck by a warp gate. Yay. Pushing out here with a lot of sentries. Sentries are great at dealing with Zealots when they don't have speed, and even when they do have speed, just because they do a lot of damage to Zealots. You can actually kite him really well. So this is, oh, that was a nice force field. Yuzuki was, oh, those units. This is just like sad. I almost feel like I'm watching Happydude play the campaign where you have to steal the little crystals from the evil Protoss that are just like sending like 3 Zealots at a time at your army. I don't know if Yuzuki has been studying the campaign very much, but it doesn't work out too well for them. What is that? Oh, that's just weird. An observer standing inside the little black hole of the warp gate. I don't know if any of you guys play on high settings, but seeing as I have an awesome computer, I tend to just go with it even though there's a ton of stuff on the screen. No, I'm almost not even watching these fights anymore because it's pretty painful. So finally, Yuzuki's going to start warping in some stalkers. They're pretty good counter to sentries, even though the sentries are light, and therefore the stalkers don't do extra damage to them. I'd love to click on one before they die. Yeah. Stalkers doing the 14 damage to armor is really not that big of a deal. The best thing about stalkers is their speed and their range damage. But there's the GG. Yuzuki apparently realized he was so far behind he couldn't really do much about it with the failed all-in attempt with the Zealots. But other than that, pretty good mechanics seen out of Happydude. We're going to go into some other games in just a moment.